Hi guys. This is from the Weather Channel. Oh, I can't turn that light on. This is from the Weather Channel live coverage. Okay, and Hurricane Sergio. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. It was put up an hour ago. I just wanted to make sure that it was right. I have no clue what's going on with the new storm down in the Gulf Coast area. I guess there's another one there we got to keep an eye on. All right, here goes the video.
You can trust. You're watching the Weather Channel here in the lab. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, and guess what? Something's brewing in the Caribbean, and it's looking a little bit more likely that whatever this area of disturbed weather ends up being in the coming days, it's going to end up being something. That's a better chance right now.
Hurricane Sergio, still cranking as a major. Look at that thing. This is what hurricane, beautiful symmetry. Look at those northern and southern outflow channels. Almost about as perfect as they can get. This in time goes west and then north. All the models bring this moisture back toward Baja, and does this get eventually tangled up in a trough, which could be a heck of a strong fall snowstorm up into the northern Rockies as we go on in time. We'll see.
I'm going to let this run, okay? I will put this link up there. Let me turn this down just a little. Hey, Ronald. You're welcome, sweetie. Got something happening down in the East Coast that's got me a little concerned. Gulf Coast, I should say. They're saying it's about a 70% chance now of turning into something. But they still say, we're not sure. I don't get it. Why put something on if you're not sure? Here we go.
Multi-low pressure area, this what we call Caribbean gyre, that's kind of sitting down through here. The good news is right now the heaviest thunderstorms are offshore and not soaking Central America. But the rainfall potential down here, based on some of the models, is pretty high, especially over Honduras. And by the way, the capital of Honduras is right there. And if you look at the legend, there's the pink at 12 to 18. Then there's another shade of lighter pink. That's 18 to 24. And then that's 24 plus in the white. So 2 feet of rain over the capital city could be a disaster if that verifies. All right. This thing's not going to develop in the short term. Lots of shear in through here. It also doesn't have a consolidated area of low pressure. Pressures are low. All right. But they're not.
I hope you're doing okay, Ronald.
That consolidated area before things can generate. However, as we go on in time, let's move this circle where a lot of the guidance suggests that we will have some semblance of low pressure. And you'll notice, for the most part, the shear is on the light side in that area. So it is something to watch as we head into this weekend. NHC up to 60% now with their development.
Of developing, according to the National Hurricane Center,
yeah,
Leon,
you believe
they're
that?
going to get a 70% chance of development over the next 5 days.
So whatever it is that comes out of here and here is going to go north. It has to. That's the steering flow. So let's look at the tropical moisture, because this is why I wanted to show you where the low pressure was. This is going through the week. This is the deepest concentration of tropical moisture.
Can you hear it okay?
Where the European and the GFS placed those low pressures, it was kind of south of Louisiana, right? Look at where the deepest moisture is on the east side. So could this be a little tip in the fact that we have something that's a little bit more east side loaded here? All right? Maybe. And not very well organized. Maybe. All right? So we'll see.
Floods.
Now they go into this commercial.
Are often underestimated, threatening property and lives. Flooding is one of the deadliest natural disasters.
They get back to the weather in a few minutes.
With incredible force, a flash flood can sweep away a person in just 6 inches of water and a large vehicle in just 2 feet of water. So it's important to be prepared and know what to do. Never try to walk or swim through a flooded area if there's moving water. If you come across a flowing stream where water is above your ankles, stop, turn around, and go another way. Remember, floodwaters can move 6 to 12 miles an hour.
Oh, I know. Isn't that scary?
Can easily knock you off your feet.
Hurricanes can
Stay
form in
away from
October.
downed or broken power lines and any exposed electrical wires. Even if you don't see a spark, they can
I think
still
the
be
end of
loud and
hurricane
extremely
season is
dangerous
over in
because
November.
electrical currents can travel through water and cause electrocution. Do not drive through flooded areas. The flowing water can be very deceptive, making it impossible to determine how deep the water really is. Although vehicles are heavy and stable on dry ground, in a flood, they will float and drift quickly, losing contact with the road.
Breaking right now on the Weather Channel, the National Hurricane Center saying, hey, we've seen enough here, and based on some of the forecast models and the other information we're getting in, we're going to designate this area and invest. This now invest
Yes, I know.
91L.
This was put up an hour ago, though.
It was an area to watch, and now it's an invest. It's sort of like you have
80%. It's going to be
like there's a
something.
party going on or something, and you go, I'm going to keep my eye on that guy. And then you see a little bit more of this behavior, a little bit more going on. You go, I think I'm going to go ask that guy some questions, see what's going on. So that's kind of what's going to be happening here now. The National Hurricane Center going to look a little bit deeper into this. We'll get a little bit more information from the National Hurricane Center now that we're dealing with an area of investigation. And in the next 5 days, National Hurricane Center saying that 70% chance, if it does develop, it's most likely going to be happening in this area right here throughout parts of
They put this up and then they're not sure. That bugs me.
Mexico. And this is a look at what it looks like right now. We're seeing some thunderstorm action in here. There's still some winds going in different directions at different height, which is not a favorable atmosphere necessarily for tropical systems to form and develop and get stronger. There's the strong winds, which can tear them apart. However, that's not going to be the case. It's not expected to stay here for all that long. Now, it will through much of the weekend. In fact, the high-resolution future radar, or the future radar shows there's still that circulation going to be hanging around through most of Sunday, but it's going to get very interesting when this does eventually make its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Whether it goes across the Yucatan or kind of sneaks up near Cuba, could mean a pretty big difference as well. And you may remember it was a year ago today, Tropical Storm Nate formed in the Caribbean, almost in the exact same spot as the disturbance that we're watching today. And it could grow to become a hurricane, causing widespread destruction in Central America before spinning into the Gulf and making landfall in the U.S. You may remember that's what happened with Nate as we look at the timeline. And because of its significance...
No, she keeps going around in circles, Ronald.
Be retired.
She can't make up her mind. She needs a GPS.
Hurricane Center, Dr. Rick Knabb explains why names are retired.
After a notorious or very impactful hurricane occurs,
Whoever just came
we don't
in,
want to use
welcome.
that name again, because it would be insensitive to those who were impacted and confusing to hear that name again.
Thank you, Dr. Knabb and Dr. Knabb. And now here's a look at the named storms for the 2017 season. So last year, major hurricanes, all of the ones in purple. There were 17 named storms.
Wow.
And 4 of them are being retired. That's the second highest number of retirees in a season. Harvey, Irma, and of course, Maria.
Sorry, they're going back into commercials again.
Right, scary images coming out of Indonesia. This dramatic video shows residents fleeing.
They said they were going to cover Hurricane Sergio, so that's what we're waiting on.
70,000 homes were destroyed or damaged, with some sinking to 10 to 20 feet underground.
We're literally seeing these houses collapse, and the earth is moving. A resident said his house and others were in ruins, and that he and his family evacuated.
I'm going to put the link to this page when this video's over underneath.
And then the volcano.
And then the volcano.
So much.
And, you know, I think we still don't know the full story, right? There's still areas that people...
And there's still towns they can't get to, yeah.
Now, this U.S. flag that flew for days off the coast of North Carolina on the Frying Pan Tower has a new home. It's
$10,000 for that flag.
Ohio. Mike Caruso paid more than $10,000 for the flag in an eBay charity auction. He says the flag will honor his brother, Kevin, who died Sunday after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Caruso says the flag symbolizes his brother's battle to stand tall and fight.
We knew from the life that my brother led and the type of person he was.
Yes, it
never
is.
giving up.
Really sweet.
Persevering through the biggest storms. That flag and what it stands for, and Kevin, his life, they correlated and reflected each other at that moment.
Proceeds from the auction benefit the American Red Cross to help victims of Hurricane Florence. Mike plans to put the flag in a box frame with a plaque to honor his brother.
Overall upper level steering pattern that this mess might move through during the next several days. So again, there it is right now, and this is the time of year where we often find some kind of tropical development in the Caribbean Sea. Now let's go back in history and look at those times. And
Get with Hurricane Sergio, please.
During, say, the late summer and early fall time period. So going back in the record books through September, for all those systems that came out of this part of the world, what did they do? Well, a lot of them moved kind of northward or north, even westward, like that. Thanks to what we've often found is a big old ridge of high pressure off the East Coast, steering pattern about like that. That is a typical September pattern. Now, when you go back in the record books, again, and look at instead of September, but you look at October, you find things taking more of a northward course like that. That's because by October, we start to see those big upper dips in the jet stream coming in and pulling stuff northward. So what do we have next week? We got both, and this is why it's a complicated forecast. We have that ridge in the east early next week, which is going to try to steer whatever
that low worries me.
Kind of along a path like that. But we also have a big trough in the jet stream in the west, which is going to try to draw things more northward. Regardless, it's probably going to have at least a northward component.
With Sergio, that is.
All the way from Texas to Florida. Stay tuned. Lots of things to sort out with that kind of pattern in play.
And what's really interesting, if you were to analyze this, you've probably got a weak low here, a weak one here, and then this kind of axis of lower pressure.
I think all they're going to do is this invest thing.
It's very, very big. We call this the Central American gyre, and right now it is essentially
yes, that's coming in from
all right, for Nicaragua,
Sergio.
Honduras, and northern parts of Belize, Guatemala, all these areas getting hammered. 60% chance versus 30% chance.
The wind
What's
is
really
coming in from
interesting
Sergio.
Frankly, all of this could become one. All right, and I'll show you why I say that in just a
I don't
second.
think they're going to cover it.
The European model.
See how much more they got.
Low pressure. Look what the models do with all of this. They kind of bring it to the
About
north.
4 minutes left before the end of the video.
The good news is from the European, even though we have a closed isobar here on Wednesday, the 10th, we don't have a very tight one. So this says to me, the models right now, at least operationally, are looking at a weak system. Some of the ensemble members are stronger. Some of them are actually weaker. Here's the GFS. It's even weaker.
This showing the Humane Society workers rescuing dogs.
All right, guys. I don't know what's
Check out
going
the
on.
puppy that gets saved.
I'll see what I can find
it's so
on
sweet.
Sergio.
I mean, it's
National
sad that we
Weather
have to see
Service
them
is not
because-
keeping up
but
to
it's
their
so nice that
word.
They actually were able to get him. Oh, they're just trying to swim.
I got you. I got you.
Oh, and then there it is.
I need that.
All safe and sound. It's like, oh my goodness, what did I just go through?
Baby, I'm not paying a professional service to come over here and clean this snow off the
All right,
roof.
guys.
I got better things to spend my money on.
I'm sorry.
Like a new gutter.
I'll try to find more on Sergio through a different weather channel. I've got one in Texas and one, Arizona I'm going to check out. God bless. We will keep an eye on the storm in the Gulf. Have yourself an awesome day. God bless for now.
That's why I said no.
How is it possible to have...
All right. God bless you guys. Be safe. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome.